Welcome back, Commander. I was really looking forward to continuing the Red Alert 3 series. I'm actually quite blown away by how competent the co-commanders are, or the fact that mineral nodes don't run out after a few seconds. I'm really looking forward to the changes made in Uprising. Wait, what? You're kidding me. Well, what am I supposed to look forward to?
Put down your arms, Commander. This battle is over.
Oh, Malcolm McDowell.
First I lift them, then I throw them.
Okay. You have my interest. Oh wait, they change outfits in Uprising. Not bad. As you may know, the objectives are simple. Only use infantry for combat. If infantry can't engage aerial targets, use anti-air. If infantry cannot be built, use turrets. No friends to call since there's no co-commanders in Uprising. Sorry, transports are authorized if needed. But no fighting. As a novice commander, the run will be done on medium. Good luck. Yet again, we begin operations with the Soviet campaign. Please note that each campaign considers the Allied campaign the canon one. With the Soviets under Allied occupation, an underground rebellion is brewing. Our first target is Romania. Rumor has it that the Allies are keeping Soviet scientists captive to develop new weapons. With only a team of conscripts, I need to be careful not to lose too many troops. By garrisoning buildings, I fight my way to several pockets of Soviet troops, including Flak, Tesla, and Desolation troopers. After rescuing the scientists, I fight my way through the remaining Allied defenses to escape. Scratch that. The Allied artillery is too strong, so using the expert tactic of running past my problems, I get the scientists out before it's too late. During the escape, we discovered that the castle is being run not by the Allies, but the Future Tech Corporation.
Capitalism.
The next hideout is located in Murmansk. I need to investigate the Future Tech base while avoiding the local patrols. Surprise, surprise, they're committing very unpeaceful acts against the civilians. The defenses are too strong, so I pull back to the nearby village and garrison the buildings. Eventually, I get access to mortar cycles, which can alternate between Molotovs and mortar shells. Before you object, they're built from the barracks and driven by infantry. Sounds like, you know. After reinforcements arrive, I take the rest of the map and send a mob of conscripts, Flak, Tesla, and Desolation troopers as well as mortar cycles. The enemy artillery is strong, but using the expert tactic of running towards my problems, I take them out. With Future Tech expelled from the motherland, it's time to take the fight to them. They have a sizable base in the Yucatan on a series of islands. I start off in the northwest with a generous amount of credits and okay, this isn't the start of the mission. I don't get any infantry in the opening. Anyways, the enemy attacks early and I have an unfortunate lack of resources.
You will probably need more funds. I'm working on it.
Not to worry, comrade. You've given me plenty of credits. Well, I can't use these Reapers for combat. I can sell them for scrap. This enables me to build a somewhat decent economy before the Allies show up to ruin my fun. Unfortunately, I can't hide behind co-commanders when dealing with their carriers and devastators. It doesn't help that the enemy can also chronosphere tanks to my bases. Thus, a war of attrition is a losing battle. Let's take the fight to them. Using the expert tactic of doom dropping multiple times onto this conveniently open beach, I wreck all of Future Tech's buildings, ending the mission. The final target is Sigma Island, where Future Tech is developing a Sigma harmonizer. Every few minutes it hits my forces with some of that Sigma male energy, freezing them in place. The longer the fight lasts, the longer my forces are overwhelmed. To make matters worse, Future Tech also uses future tanks, which can damage enemies in a wide area. While they are impressive, like George Takei, they've developed the unique adaptation of being weak to lightning. I can also just capture these cooling towers to disable them for a short time. With a mix of conscripts, Flak, Tesla, and Desolation troopers, as well as mortar cycles, I destroy each of Future Tech's structures. The hardest part is destroying the Sigma harmonizer, which is well defended by Spectrum towers, pacifiers, future tanks, carriers, and Arbinger gunships. Pay no attention to these bullfrogs. They're probably just shooting some birds. Anyways, with the expert tactic of doom dropping disposable units and rushing the harmonizer, I bring it down like clockwork. Hey, an orange. Oh, the boring faction again. Anyways, following the Allied occupation of Japan, several warlords spring up to oppose us. These include Shinzo, Kenji, and Jamie Chung. Anyways, Tatsu's on our side for now. Our first target is Shinzo's home at Shiniga. Now, it's actually possible to beat the intro without using the IFVs, but I gotta get lucky with the engagement at the bridge. And anyways, the infantry fighting vehicles can be manned by infantry. Sounds pretty, you know. After sending these Harbinger gunships away, I proceed to get pummeled for several hours. Despite my best efforts, Shinzo's Yamato battleships repeatedly destroy my base. How did they even fit in the river? After hours of retrying, I finally come up with a foolproof plan. First, dolphins. They may be built at the shipyard, but they're still animals, and thus, infantry. Next, blow up the starting Yamatos with Tanya. Then send Tanya and the dolphins to Shinzo's shipyard. Take out all remaining ships in the shipyard. Then send my army around the northeast path and destroy Shinzo's base from the rear. Then doom drop Shinzo's remaining generators to disable his turrets. Then doom drop his production while launching a diversionary attack from the front. Then take out his remaining troops. Then look up why the mission isn't progressing despite me freezing the house like it said. Then freeze his transport before he leaves. Sadly, despite having access to Paralysis Whip rocket angels, I still need to use these cryocopters to stop him. The next target is Kenji. He's pulling a Tim Curry and hiding behind invincible shields. With conveniently placed infantry squads, I take out the nanoswarm hives protecting him. Afterwards, I get access to Cryo-Legionnaires, these annoying ice guys from earlier. I also take the various oil derricks and prepare the nearby bridges, getting access to Tatsu's Archer Maidens and King Onis. And as you know, if it's shaped like a trooper, it's, super duper. Anyways, with a mix of Peacekeepers, Javelins, Cryo-Legionnaires, Archer Maidens, Imperial Warriors, Tank Busters, King Onis, and Steel Ronins, I roll through Kenji's base. He tries to escape using a tech inhibitor, but with my squad of infantry, I proceed to lose several times for some reason. Oh, I need to keep the Cryo guys alive. That makes sense. The final target is Miyaki, where Jamie Chung is holed up. I start off on a plateau under heavy assault. Okay, fine, this isn't the start of the mission. I only get 2 ice guys and 2 pacifiers to start. I try to break through without the pacifiers, but unpacking the MCV anywhere triggers the enemy to start attacking. Anyways, after Jamie's counterattack peters out, I expand and build up a force of Cryo-Legionnaires, Peacekeepers, Javelins, and Tanya, and also get some King Onis just to be safe. After rolling over Jamie's base, surprise, surprise, Tatsu betrays me and sends these robot heads to annihilate me. Time for Plan D. I doom drop Tatsu's rear while sending the rest of my army to fight the Giga Fortress. Somehow, it works, and I finish off most of Tatsu's structures while his robot head blasts my base to shreds. With my production in shambles and my army gone, I send whatever troops I can to Tatsu's shipyard and end the mission. Empire time. With the Allied occupation, we have to be careful with upsetting our new masters. Prince Tatsu orders us to cooperate, for now. The first target is Sakhalin Island, which is currently under siege by the Soviets. The Allies are no help, so using the expert tactic of driving a boat onto land. Don't worry, it's just a transport. I infiltrate a nearby Soviet base. Capturing the bunker, I gain access to Soviet hardware such as conscripts, flak troopers, Teslas, and motorcycles. After throwing several waves against Oleg's base, I manage to deprive it of power in its MCV, allowing me and Kenji to pincer Oleg. The next target is Oki Island, site of George Takei's tomb. Mosvin is trying to take over the island, so it's time to act. I get access to Archer Maidens, who are archers that maiden. This means I finally get ground troops that can shoot up. Unfortunately, I do need to use these non-infantry pacifiers to destroy the initial Soviet fleet. I suppose since I'm manning them with infantry, I could still kind of allow them. I know it's a stretch, just let me have this. Anyways, afterwards I get access to Steel Ronins, infantry in giant suits. I need to take 6 observation posts to secure the area. Or I could blow up Mosvin's base, but it's on the water, so I stick to taking the towers. The rest of the mission is a slog, as I need to constantly reinforce the tomb and my captured posts. Eventually, I build up enough troops to take the central observation post and launch attacks on the left base. Eventually, Mosvin's attacks slow down, presumably due to running low on resources. So I send my rocket angels to the final tower and run an engineer in, ending the mission. The final target is Vladivostok. It's time to punish the Soviets for their aggression. I start out on the water and Oleg sends early air attacks. As per rule number 2, I'll need turrets for the early stages of the mission. Since I can't make dojos on the water, I use the expert tactic of spamming dojo cores and landing them in the bottom left. After building up a mob of warriors, tank busters, and archer maidens, I destroy Oleg's base. The counterattacks are fierce, and things aren't helped by the allies showing up to ruin my fun. Also, ignore the Giga Fortresses, they're just doing target practice. So using the expert tactic of cheesing Giles by blowing up all his stuff, I get back to the main fight. Since the enemy has a ton of bullfrogs, I use the expert tactic of letting my old base fall while moving everything to the island. After securing the northern expansions, I launch several dozen waves of rocket angels to disable the enemy forces, and after several hours, finish off Oleg and Moskvin. This is probably the second time I've held out until the AI ran out of resources. With the factions out of the way, it's time for something different. Eureko Omega, the Imperial Commando, is a powerful psychic living in the Shimada Research Facility. Think 11, but Japanese. Tired of her captivity and abuse at the hands of Dr. Shimada. It's time to escape. Urged to escape the facility by her sister Izumi, Eureko accesses the lab's files to recall her old powers. These include her regular psychic scream, mind control, a psychic shield, and telekinesis. After fighting through a trio of King Oni, she's conveniently recaptured by Imperial forces. Oh come on, she could have blasted them away. Following the Allied occupation of the Empire, Eureko is brought to Detention Camp Delta by Future Tech. After mind-controlling her guard, she breaks free from her stasis and frees Soviet and Imperial prisoners in the camp. After fighting through Allied weapons and planes, with help from a friendly Desolation trooper, I ship it, she destroys the Allied fleet and escapes. It's time for revenge. Eureko returns to the lab and tears apart the security. They've upgraded since her last breakout with psychic inhibitors to block her spells. Apparently they forgot to block her regular attack, so she just blows them up anyway. While Shimada's security detail tries to stop her from freeing Izumi. Using the expert tactic of throwing barrels, she destroys them and awkwardly chases down Shimada. Izumi is freed, but reveals she only brought Eureko here to kill her and reclaim her place as the strongest psychic. Once again, the expert tactic of throwing stuff at the enemy works and Izumi goes down. Bit anticlimactic for a final boss, to be honest. Eureko is freed, but has no clue what her future holds. Congratulations, Commander. This challenge is absolutely impossible again. There's too many missions with islands, too many missions that require non-infantry units, too many missions with pacifiers. But how many can be done with infantry in total? For the Soviet campaign, 3 out of 4 missions can be done with infantry only. Mission 3 forces me to use sickles and terror drones at the start, while missions 3 and 4 do require bullfrogs, which automatically shoot at enemy air units. Technically, it's not my fault that the enemy's planes are flying in these exact spots during target practice. For the Allied campaign, only 1 out of 3 missions can be done with infantry only. It is possible to beat the intro to Mission 1 without IFVs, but the ending forces me to use cryocopters or the cryoshot to free Shinzo anyways. Mission 3 also has those pacifiers at the start. For the Imperial campaign, around 2 out of 3 missions can be done with infantry only. I need the pacifiers in the second mission to beat Mosfin's fleet. I have to use turrets for the intro to Mission 3 and the Gigafortresses to destroy some stuff before I can move them away. Otherwise, the missions are perfectly beatable, so it's only fair that I round up here. And obviously, all 3 of Eureko's missions can be done with infantry Eureko only. This gives a grand total of 9 out of 13 missions, 69%. Add in the Red Alert 3 missions and this totals at 25 out of 40 missions, 62%. Remember, Baraka. Shoutouts to Time, Gladys Marino, Appy Akra, Jen Duong, and Michael Phillips for supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Or don't. It seems this timeline was not the one where my channel succeeds. Nevertheless, thanks to those of you who stuck around. Until next time, see ya.